Good night, everybody. It's your girl, Alarise. Hey. All right, girl. And guys, how are you tonight? I'm just going to jump on here real quick. Real quick. Your girl is learning some things about herself. This is just going to be an everyday thing. But today, let me tell you why it's important. It's important today because, let me take my glasses off because I can actually see some of that feedback. But today, I realized that cooking for my family is going to be a problem. These jokers may not even be eating in my house anymore, okay? Mind you, my sons are no longer children. I have adult men in my life. I've got a 28-year-old, 25, 23, and a 16-year-old, okay? So when I refer to my sons as I cooked for my children, just please know I'm delusional. Those jokers aren't, because their stomachs are bottomless. But what I'm finding post-op is that cooking for me, if I continue like this, is going to be very difficult. So guess what your girl done figured out? I got to make sure I'm taken care of before I take care of them, okay? The food addiction is real. The food addiction is real. I finally became very clear about how we add extra pounds onto ourselves, right? So my habits, over the last couple of weeks, beginning with pre-op, I began to look at my habits. Now, mind you, before I actually had surgery, I have a personal trainer, and I started working out with him twice a week, right? And then after that, it became once a week. So I actually weight lift and do some other toning, right? And then it became a little bit too much. I am a 46-year-old woman, and I think sometimes, even though I present as youthful as I do, I push myself, right? I have a very busy life and busy schedule. But in reflecting today while I was cooking for my family, that divine dinner, because it didn't last on anybody's place for more than 10 minutes, trust that. And those jokers went back for second and third, right? And back in the day, had I been able to eat, I probably would have gone back for the fourth plate. Now, food addiction is real. Pre-op brought that out. My drinking schedule, how I would drink, I'm one of those that's got to have a martini. I am a martini girl. I really am. But I know that the martini is now just a teeny, honey. It's not even to be found, right? And I'm going to talk about how I'm replacing that, habit. Because our eating is a habit. A lot of what we do. I used to be a smoker, so smoking was a habit. So it's not like I no longer smoke. I basically went cold turkey about, I want to say 11 years ago, right? So this can be done. It can be done. But here's what your girl found out. I found out that the way that I prepared my food was kind of contributing to the weight gain. So for those of you that really like to cook with sauces and flavors and all of those things, you know what we do. We season, taste. Season, taste. As the food is cooking, we're tasting. As the food is almost done, we're tasting. When the food is done, we're tasting, right? Especially for those of us that have a hearty kind of menu. Like if you're in New England, you have a lot more chowders, you have a lot more seafood, you have a lot more, if you're in the city, you've got sandwiches that are really hearty. If you're in Philly, you got the steaks. In the South, you got the macaroni, you got all that good stuff. Well, I'm Carib, and I'm also Latin. So I've got the rice, the beans, the curry, all that going on. So you already know it's just a potpourri of hips and chips and dips inside of my house, okay? But I am understanding that before I take care of my family, I made the statement before, I have to take care of me. Which means that I have to make sure that I'm properly satiated before I go to even cook for my family now. Sticking to that post-op is going to be key. If you have gotten your post-op instructions or even your pre-op instructions, in the email that they send to you, your coordinator will send you like a link, and in there it has both the pre and post-op. Start reading that post-op now, okay? Start planning your food. Remember what I said yesterday. plan what you're eating ahead of time, because the last thing you want to do is have this major surgery, right? We've got a lot of things going on here. Not only are we operating in a place that is not home for us, but we're leaving a part of our organ somewhere else. Then we've got to take it upon ourselves, for those of us that don't have doctors that are willing to cover us, that we have got to make sure that we stay in top shape, and that we follow this thing to a T. You're going to have to follow it to a T. If you are not willing to take the step to go through everything that you're going to have to go through in making this commitment, do not do it right now, because you're going to have to stop and think about it. You got to stop and think about it, right? And I'm telling you that as a food addict, because that's exactly what I am. No one eats better than me. Trust me. I'm the kind of person that I'll go to a bar and I'll spend that $100 for that champagne. I'll drink that bitch by myself. Don't have no problems with it. I will go to the barbecue place and sit down just with my girlfriends and chop it up. Have no problems with that, right? My stomach wasn't waiting on nobody. Okay, trust me, it was me, myself, and I many a days. But that post-op, back to what I was saying, that post-op, have a plan for your post-op. Okay, there's a lot of things that you're going to be trying to do. I see a lot of people jump on, and as soon as we make contact with Pompeii, we're all excited. It's like, oh my God, I'm finally doing this, and oh my goodness, and now we start thinking about saving money, and we start thinking, and then the pressure begins. But this is a system and a step that you want to make sure that you don't make it a pressurized situation. So know what you're eating. Especially think about when you're going to be carrying on with your regular everyday life, your snacks, your protein, all those things that are needed. Okay, so this is still not an easy journey. For those of you that are like, oh, Al, you always look so good, you look really good. Yeah, but the reality is I just had surgery on last Tuesday. I look good, but surgery was on Tuesday. I am not healed. I'm sitting here with 30% of my stomach in me. Okay, the other 70 is no longer there. And even I can't fool myself on what my habits are. Okay, and I'm telling you, today, that meatloaf, it almost took me out, y'all. Yeah, your girl wouldn't be sitting here tonight. It was almost a wrap for my tail, okay? But I had to stop and think about it. Oh, so before I go, because I'm going over my time, before I go, water. Water is a little bit difficult for me now, right? Before this, I was drinking water, I had no problems. So what I did in my local store, they usually have a tendency to have like these beautiful presentations of chopped fruit. And they'll sell it for like maybe $7-8 or whatever, and you might be able to get a fruit tray. What I have done, what I found is easy for me to get my water in, and it's just a suggestion, you don't have to do it, is I have a 32-ounce water container, and so I fill 24 ounces of that with water, and then I'll put a handful of fruits like I did tonight. My beverage that I have tonight, which is my teeny. It's not my martini, but I call it my teeny now. My teeny that I'm sipping on while I go to bed and as I wake up throughout the night, because I will wake up throughout the night to sip on it again. I have pineapple, I have watermelon, I've got kiwi inside of there, and I've got 8 ounces of apple juice. So you could call that my apple teeny tiny. How about that? Apple teeny tiny. Okay, but it comes down to me having 32 ounces of water throughout that resting period, right? Because water is important. So anyhow, I hope you guys have enjoyed listening to me tonight. And just prayers out and up for those of you that have had surgery today, that had surgery last week, that are in recovery, that are in post-op, and that may be feeling discouraged. I understand, right? Just keep staying with it, keep talking, keep sharing, and special prayers to a gentleman in my group that he was there with me when we got operated on. He is having some difficult times, but God is with him. He's going to pull him and his wife through what they're going through, but prayers. This is not an easy step. Don't think that it's just willy-nilly, and just know what we're doing. We got to know what we're doing. So keep using the process. The process is there for us to use it. And everybody have a great night. And thanks for taking the time to look at the video. Okay? Besitos. Bye.